Welcome back to the Crypto's Key conversation. Hey, in our recent video, we covered this Thinking Crypto interview with Tony and Joseph Hall, where Joseph Hall was pretty much calling the XRP community conspiracy theorists, and he was saying that there was unfounded speculation coming from the community. So I wanted to touch on some of the tweets that were coming from Johnny Deaton. He was saying, if our timeline and videos and evidence is nothing and can be easily dismissed, then this gentleman or any other SEC institutionalist should have no issue debating me about it. I'm not even a securities lawyer, so he should be able to crush me if the evidence is so conspiratorial. So let's quickly listen into just a small segment in this clip.
It's just not how the SEC operates. It's not how those two gentlemen in particular operate. I view those allegations as conspiracy theories.
So there you have it. That's his opinion on it. So continuing on here, Tag XRP had a great tweet. He says, "Hey Joseph Hall, it is easy to dismiss people as a conspiracy theorist. However, we have the facts to back it up. Read this. Other law firms and former public officials such as Joseph Grunkfest have also agreed that conflicts of interest are present." So obviously, on top of that, plus, the timeline that, Johnny Deaton and the class action lawsuit has, Digital Asset Investor talks about, we have all the information. We have them with their own words, with them on footage, almost digging their own holes for themselves. So it's like, there's no true unfounded speculation that he so-called claims that we have. It's like all facts that we pulled from them in their own words. So it's just crazy that that was his approach to this Thinking Crypto interview. You know what? He has a right to his opinion. And at the end there, he had talked about how he could be proven wrong, and he can be proven wrong right now. And he will be proven wrong, as this case progresses. So moving on. Johnny Deaton said this. He says, all we did was organize a timeline with clips of people and what they said when they said it. I don't care who you are or what token you support. If you go through the timeline clips, you will agree an investigation is warranted. You may not want one, but it's definitely deserved. That's the truth, and it's quite evident that that needs to take place. It's not necessarily that we want, Ethereum and all parties involved in this Ethereum free pass. We don't want them to get in trouble. We don't want Ethereum to get under the microscope of the SEC, but it's like we want a level playing field. We want things fair. We need regulatory clarity within the space. So it's like if that's the approach we have to take, then it is what it is. But at the end of the day, we are all on the same team when it comes to the crypto space, and we have to realize that. So continuing on here, James K Flynn had put up this tweet. He says, SEC files request to file Sir reply regarding motion to strike, citing SEC versus Library decision in which New Hampshire federal judge granted judgment on the pleadings on an unrelated selective enforcement defense. So he has the PDF here. You can click into it and check it out. But he says over here, this is the Library decision on the motion for judgment on the pleadings on the selective enforcement defense raised by Library in New Hampshire. So coming down here, Megan Jade asks Johnny Deaton and James K. Flynn, please can you explain, as this just seems like another delay tactic. Johnny Deaton says, this isn't a big deal. The SEC wants to write another paragraph or two based on the Library case decision that came out February 7th. Even if Judge Torres denies a request, the SEC brought the case to her attention by this letter. This Library decision has little to zero impact. XRP Crypto Wolf says, the SEC is going to drag out every lawsuit geared towards crypto companies because they don't know how to regulate the industry. I like this clown gif right here. Continuing on here, Jeremy Hogan had a take on it. He says, in the Library case, Library actually asserted a fair notice defense, and not only did it not get stricken, the SEC didn't even try and strike it. So how a trial level court striking a completely different affirmative defense in the case is relevant, I don't understand. So he has this fourth defense document here. Coming down here, he says, in fact, I'm pretty sure that Ripple will do a little legal judo and spin this into a positive for it because the SEC didn't even move to strike the F&D in the Library case. Sometimes you don't want to try and throw every case into a pleading. This was one of those times, I think. So coming down here, XRP Crypto Wolf said, so basically the SEC case against Library is helping Ripple. Jeremy Hogan says, I think so. If the SEC truly doesn't believe a fair notice defense is legally valid, why didn't it move to strike it in the Library case? That's an argument. So coming down here, it says, this is from Crypto Acoustic. It says, as always, brilliant. For our friends across the world, could you explain this as it were the Olympics, please? Jeremy Hogan goes, so an American sprinter smoked some pot and was disqualified from competing in the Olympics. Later, A Russian figure skater also took a banned substance, and the Olympic Committee allowed her to. Oh, wait, crap. Let me think of a new analogy. So, long story short, that's Jeremy Hogan's take on it, and I love his little humor that he has. It's kind of corny, but it makes him awesome. So I want to thank Jeremy Hogan for kind of weighing in on this. But if this can be seen as a positive for Ripple, that's absolutely massive. Continuing over here, speaking of Library had tweeted this. It says, if it's not open source, it's not Web3. If it can only be used via a website, it's not Web3. If it's open source, uses a public blockchain, and has decentralized app, it's Web3. So we know Web3 has been like the talk of the town, and metaverse and all these different plays. These terms have been huge when it comes to the mainstream media. So it's kind of solid that they had threw this up. This person says, if it gets sued by the SEC, it's Web3. There's been some humor in this space, which I like, and especially during these negative times, especially with us being, in this extreme fear range again when it comes to the Bitcoin Fear Greed Index and seeing so much blood in the streets. Coming over here, the Digital Asset Investor had put up this tweet, which was awesome. It says, now, what would make Ripple such an appealing opportunity to leave the U.S. Treasury to pursue? I wonder. All the world's a stage. I love when he says that. So let's take a listen into this.
Sure. So I was at the Department of the Treasury before I came to Ripple, and it was blockchain had obviously been around for a while, but we were just starting to get the briefings from folks. Industry was coming in, including Ripple, to tell us about their products, what they were doing. And I think that was just a really great introduction to the space and got me excited to explore it more, particularly when this opportunity came up. Ripple was, I think, the first crypto company to open up a DC office. And
so, just another positive. Obviously, we know Ripple is just crushing it. No matter whether they're in this lawsuit or not, they're continuing to expand, create partnerships with central banks and companies around the world because they're trying to solve a real world problem. And those partners that they have, they see the writing on the wall. They see what Ripple has to offer them. It's absolutely massive. I wanted to come over here to Matt Helmington's tweet. Excuse me. Did I mess this up? Oh, right here. He says, what's not to like about XRP? It is fast, cheap, decentralized, was the second major blockchain after Bitcoin. It was developed by some Bitcoin developers to be a better Bitcoin once they saw it abundant energy requirements. It was first DEX, first stablecoins. And then someone says, decentralized my butt. He says the XRP ledger has no central authority, has no central point of control. Any changes to the protocol have to be voted on by the network. No single entity has unilateral control over the network. Anyone can transact on the network. Anyone can run a node. No one can prevent you. So, that's another positive within the space. And then someone right here says, Lord Red said, I love that you generally try to educate people, but sometimes it's like explaining physics to a chicken. They just won't grasp it no matter how simple you make it for them. Yeah, that's kind of quite evident. I wanted to end on this. This was freaking awesome. This is Crypto Comedy and Art. The secret becomes clear. Shh. This is freaking awesome. Check this out.
Ether is, a coin that has been evolving. The network is evolving. We think when we look at how Ether today is operating, at least, we see a highly decentralized network, and we don't see a central third party where folks are saying, oh, if that person does these things, this will be giving me an investment return. So we don't see that key third party actor. We do see it being highly decentralized. The governance is decentralized. Things that occur on that network are very public. The developer conferences are very open. We don't see those information asymmetries. So what we're trying to say is we don't see a lot of value in treating Ether today as a security.
So you got Johnny Deaton sitting on the couch turning on the TV. Then you have William Hemming giving his Ethereum free pass speech. You got Vitalik Buterin, Jay Clayton, and Joseph Lubin sitting in the stands throwing roses at him. That is freaking hilarious. Great work on this. That's freaking awesome. I think we need a lot of comedy, which this is powerful. Yeah, it's comedy, but it's almost facts based on what's been surfacing, what's been happening behind closed doors, things that they've tried to suppress. But, we ended up finding the video footage and finding them in their own words and, bringing it to the surface and to the light, educating the community on what's going on. So it's awesome to see this. And, based on all the other funny tweet and replies to serious topics, I appreciate that, because we are going through a lot of negativity right now, and we can use a little bit of positive within, these dark times. Just add a little light to the space. With all that being said, stay strong out there. Be safe.